Had a few people ask me to do a video on release aid execution. So I'm just going to show you how I execute my shots with different kinds of releases. I'm going to start off with an index finger release. The biggest thing on an index finger release is to make sure you get one that you can absolutely get the trigger travel taken out of. If you have a release that has any kind of travel in it, once you start squeezing on it, if you feel it move, it's going to give you some kind of anticipation. So I like to have one that has absolutely no trigger travel at all and actually has some adjustment for trigger pressure. So another thing is to make sure you can get one where you have somewhere to adjust the strap or connection to it so you can get it positioned right in your hand. A lot of the cheaper releases that are really long, you end up having to really reach out to try to get to the trigger, and that's not going to put you in a position where you can have your hand relaxed and get in the same point around the release every single time. So making sure you can get your finger on the front part of the release, just like shooting a rifle. You don't want to be pushing down on it, you want to be pulling straight back on it. And all you're going to do, I'm going to do this without putting my finger actually on the trigger. When you get into your anchor, you start aiming and you start your shot process, it's just going to be a add tension with the back and start squeezing, adding tension on the trigger until it goes off. When you actually shoot it, you get to anchor, get your finger wrapped around the trigger, squeeze with the back, add tension with the finger until it goes off. And again, put on the trigger, squeeze the back, and slowly start squeezing with the finger until it goes off. Add tension with the back, squeeze the finger until it goes off. Okay? Now on to a thumb release. Thumb release, I like to stand shoot off. Big thing with shooting any kind of handheld release is to make sure you get yourself in a repeatable position. So making sure you have a good anchor point and making sure your hand is in the release where your hand is flat. Using the portion between your first and second knuckles, your hand can be flat, so then when it's on your face, you know you're getting the same point every time. If you get too deep and get your knuckles bent, there's no way for you to make sure you're bent exactly the same way every time. Bone on bone contact, everything's flat, so then you know you're in the same spot every time. Now on the execution part, I like to relax my hand as I shoot. So as I relax my hand, I have to pick up the slack with my back. So the back picks up the slack and the hand relaxes. Okay, that's really exaggerated just so I can show you how it moves. Okay, now you can see in relation to my thumb how that's going to pull the release into my thumb. So on an actual shot, get back in. As you're relaxing, you're picking up the tension with the back. Big thing on the handheld releases, the hinge release and a thumb button release, is after you start that flow of picking up the tension and relaxing your hand, don't stop. If you stop in the middle of that, your brain's going to start thinking about, okay, how much pressure do I have on that thumb barrel? How much do I have left to go before it goes off? And it's just going to give you too much to think about. You're not going to be able to concentrate on aiming. So once you get on target and stop aiming, this movement never stops. If it stops, let down, start over, get back in, picking up tension, relaxing the hand until the release goes off. Hinge release is the same thing. I've got this one set really slow so you can see the movement in it. So everything's flat. So as you relax the hand, you pick up the tension in the back, and the release will rotate, and that's what sets it off. Same thing with this, like on the button. Once you start, don't stop. Here, aim. You're relaxing the hand and picking up the tension in the back until it goes off. Okay? Let me know if you guys have any other questions or any other videos you'd like to see. Thanks.